morning. It's so lovely to be here today and connect with you. My name's Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to create a space of healing and support that I trust resonates with you. I haven't done one of these for a while here actually. Life has been pretty busy, so it feels good to be here and to be connecting in this bit of a different way. If you've been watching my other videos, my card reading videos for a little while, you may not have seen one of these before, but I used to do these all the time and I love them. So I'm here to create a space of healing and support, and I trust that something shared supports you and resonates with you at this time. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to work with my healing energy cards. So I've got my original deck expanded, the first deck, and then combined with my newest deck, healing energy cards too. So again, I've got 110 cards here, and these are more focused around healing and support. So I'll be pulling a card and I'm going to be guided by that and see where that takes us. Then I'm going to play my quartz singing bowl for a little bit, for a bit of sound healing if you want to relax and receive whatever it is that you need, and then I'm going to pull a card to go. So that's what I'll be doing for the next 10 or 15 minutes, depending how much I talk, I guess. So welcome. I want to send out a big extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. I am coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia. And the time, well, the day is, what is the day? It's Wednesday the 6th of March 2024, and it's 9:22 a.m. So I trust you're well. So let's see what we need to discover or uncover or dive into during our time together today. So the best card, the best healing energy card that the majority of us need right now is this. Hi Rhonda. It's from the first deck, Healing Energy Cards 1, and it's one of the original cards. It's card 24, called Spiral of Grace. This is actually quite perfect for this moment. It's in the Rise category, and I've just written the current energy report, and I mentioned that we're in the Rise energy at the moment. And down here it says lifting out of karmic patterns, old wounds, and the past. And that would be the burdens of the past. Transform fear into love. Let the past go, especially the past that's holding us back. I feel the things that we've learned, the experiences that we've had, the beautiful memories that we have from the past, we can hold them close in our heart, like a photo album in our heart. But it's the burden, it's the baggage, it's the weight of the past that holds us back today, that stops us from moving forward, that this is very much focused around. Lighten your load. Oh, I've just been writing about that. And release your separation issues. Hi, Maria. Hi, Manahaya. And Leanne, welcome. This is so on point to this card. This is actually quite perfect for the energy that's around, that I'm feeling at this time, which is actually quite elevating. There's quite an elevating energy that's pulling us up. But at the same time, for those of us who might be feeling it, there's also quite a balance and quite a groundedness to the energy too, which is unusual, because the rise energy, when we're lifting up and when we're feeling elevated, like the phoenix rising, it's usually quite ungrounding and can be quite short-lived, because it's like a burst or a rocket of energy that sort of pulls us up. And we work with that, or I like to work with that as best as I can, because I know it's just a short-lived energy. It's not sustainable to be in a heightened state and be on a high for very long, because it does tend to pull us out of our body. But there is this strange, beautiful very grounded, full rounded energy at the moment that is very grounding and anchoring, but also uplifting at the same time. And that's a lot about this card. You know, this card, oh, I hear a frog. This card is lifting up out of the, oh, must be very close. It's right here somewhere, hiding in my plants. You know, this card's about our karmic patterns. Now, patterns in our life are things that keep repeating themselves. You know, it's like going around this wheel, and it's got a little notch in it, or a big notch. And every time the wheel turns and we get back to that notch, it's ouch, it's a trigger of some sort. And things repeat. That's what a pattern is. So if you're noticing lately things that you're going through that you've been going through before, why does this always happen to me? Why do I keep attracting this sort of person? This kind of thing. If you find yourself saying or thinking that, then you're probably stuck in this loop, this pattern that keeps repeating itself. And some notch in this wheel, or notches, keep coming back around and sort of triggering something. What I find with patterns and things that repeat themselves in this way is that often the situation is different, or it might be a different person, like a different outward thing that is triggering us, but it triggers the same feeling inside. So it might be a different person, a different time, a different situation, a different workplace, but it triggers the same thing. So instead of looking at that person is to blame, I like to look at, okay, when have I felt this way before? When did I feel this way before? And how far can I carry that back? Oh, I may have felt that last year, or last time this came around, and then before that, I might be able to trace it right back to earlier in my life. And then I can look more at a broader perspective, at the bigger picture of the timeline going back, and all these times this pattern has repeated itself. And then once I realise that this is a pattern, the common thread in this pattern is me. So I need to look at my issues, and I need to resolve those so I can get out of that repeating wheel and out of that thing that just keeps being triggered, and lift up. And lift up in this card is lifting up out of the wheel of things repeating themselves and lifting up into like a spiral path. So the path that lifts up on a spiral, and it takes us to higher, new levels, new experiences to learn, new situations to bring ourselves into, so we're not repeating the same thing. Then we can lift up into new experiences that then we can learn from, we can grow from. We can still learn and grow from the patterns, but they tend to be like a broken record in a loop for a period of time. So let's lift up out of that loop, that repetitive pattern. If you're dealing with something at the moment that's quite intense and strong for you, maybe ask yourself, quite seriously, sit down with yourself quietly and ask yourself, when did I feel this way before? It's got nothing to do with the people. It's usually got nothing to do with the people or the situations externally. They are the triggers, the external triggers that are triggering something on the inside. So when have I felt this way before? When have I been in a similar situation to this? And reflect back over the years, over our life, to see, is this a pattern? And once we realise it's a pattern, that's actually quite, what would you say, an opportunity for us to then, we've recognised the pattern, we can break the pattern, we can break the habit, the repetitive nature of that, and we can lift up out of that. So how might you do that? How might you break a pattern? Let's say you've just realised, or you realise that, oh, actually, I've been feeling this way or dealing with this issue for the last 20 years or my entire life. Then what do you do about that? Well, I think awareness is definitely the first key. So once you're aware that it's a pattern, and we're taking responsibility and we're owning our role in this, that it's actually not that person to blame, it's actually us that has attracted this for some reason. So what can we learn? What is the gem within this situation, or what is the opportunity in this challenge? What can we learn from this? How can we improve ourselves by potentially letting this go, or realising whatever it is that we realise? depending on whatever it is, I also like to go through a period. It could be short, it could be over a few days or a few weeks, not usually much longer than that. A period of letting go and releasing and really surrendering to and letting that pattern go and my need to keep it in place, because sometimes there's this strange need that we have to keep the pattern going, the habit going. Could be a need for attention. It could be something that feels safe about it. It could be that we're pushing growth away, we're pushing love away, we're pushing goodness away. So by keeping the pattern and the habit in play, we are keeping life at bay, and that may be a part of what we want unconsciously if we're letting our insecurities run the show in our life. So I need to look at, when I'm looking at such things, I need to look at what am I holding on to with this? Why am I keeping it fixed? Why am I keeping it in play? And how can I release my hold, my grip, so that I can let that go, because I know it's not good for me and I don't want to keep repeating this pattern for the rest of my life. So I need to look at it from all angles, and I need to be willing to let go, and I need to be willing to imagine my life without that habit and without that pattern repeating itself. So it could be an addiction, it could be showing up as that as well. So let's play the singing bowl. I'm going to play the singing bowl now. Maybe if this is resonating with you, maybe there are things that you can further sit with as I play the singing bowl. Maybe for you, you're feeling this sort of pull, this upliftment, like something is pulling you higher, something's wanting to elevate you, something's wanting to lift you up. So you might want to use the singing bowl to help you feel that pull in your body, that pull on the upper, that pull on the horizontal that's pulling you up. Now you might feel that in your body where you want to really straighten up. You might want to stand up. You might want to stretch your body up, your arms up, and really stretch yourself so you can feel this pull pulling you up, we could say, into the spiral of grace, up out of your burdens and your baggage that you've been carrying that's been weighing you down, up out of the burdens of the past that you've been struggling to move on from, lifting yourself up. So you could imagine like an eagle flying or a hot air balloon lifting up, or you stretching yourself upwards, and see what that does for you. You can work through your body doing that. You can work with your breathing. So you can breathe in a nice, powerful breaths. As you breathe in, feel the life force coming in and filling you up like you maybe were an empty balloon, feeling all deflated and flat. Breathe that life force in and feel the air coming in and reinflating you and filling you up again with air and life force. And as you breathe out, surrender and let go. Let your hold go on things. Let your hold go of the things that are pulling you down and holding you back. So I really encourage you, if you're inspired to work with this energy of upliftment that is so strong, this energy of rise that's very present at the moment. So I'm going to play my singing bowl. This is my quartz singing bowl. It actually aligns with the throat chakra. The throat chakra is about communication, expression, and truth. Feeling safe to speak our truth, feeling safe to be who we are. It's also where we tend to access to go on that quest to find ourselves. So if you've been doing that, there may be something in that too. So I'm going to play this. There's nothing you can do wrong. Just listen. Let the bowl support you and hold you and perhaps elevate you, or whatever it is that you need. I trust you receive from the bowl. I'm not going to talk. Just going to listen and create some music for you. So enjoy. Nice big breath. Thank you. I see I activated the dogs, maybe, not my dogs, the neighbour's dogs, and the frog has gone quiet. So thank you. I trust you enjoyed the singing bowl and that you feel even just a little bit more elevated or uplifted than you did before. Maybe there's some things for you to explore or sit with, and really think about being proactive on your healing journey and proactive in creating the life that you are, a life that you're passionate about living. A life where you can find your balance, a life where you're challenging yourself and pushing yourself and embracing things, a life where you feel purpose and meaning and depth and a calling. It's up to us to create our life like that. And yes, we all have challenges and we all have different challenges that we're facing. But sometimes overcoming those challenges and really moving forward and creating a wisdom or tapping into a wisdom that we found from that challenge is incredibly rewarding and inspiring. It's funny, like coming off this, I just finished my major solo exhibition, my sort of second one, and it was a 10-month lead up. And it was a 10-month lead up creating and preparing and planning and thinking things through. What am I going to make? How am I going to do this? And the challenge of that. And then the sitting in the exhibition for 6 days just not long past. And then, sitting in that feeling for like 24 hours and I'm ready for the next thing. So it's not necessarily the destination, as they say. It really is the journey. And for me, I'm thirsty for the next challenge. I'm thirsty for the next experience, the next door to open, the next unknown that calls me. I have no idea what that is. So I think, for me at least, I've got to a point now where I'm just like thirsty for the challenge and seeing for myself, what am I capable of? How can I make the most of this incredible journey and experience of life, when so many others that we all know and love are not here to live their life. Let's live our life on behalf of all of those that we love who are not here to experience it anymore. It's really inspiring. I find that incredibly inspiring. So, thank you everybody. If you just joined in, I was playing the singing bowl and chatting around the energy of this card, the spiral of grace, which is lifting up out of those patterns and the burdens that we carry that are holding us back. We have responsibilities, and some responsibilities can be a burden, but they're our responsibilities to bear. Here comes the frog again. They're our responsibilities to bear, So we're going to have burdens, we're going to have responsibilities, but when I'm talking about letting our burdens go, I'm talking about the ones that we put on ourselves. I'm talking about the ones that we don't need to carry any longer. Those burdens that become like a weight, a baggage that actually holds us down and pulls us out of our balance and out of where we could be. So I'm going to pull a card to go. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment. Please share if you're inspired to. And if you prefer to connect more privately, then please send us a message through our website. If you'd like to learn more about my healing energy cards, these are definitely my most popular deck. They're on the 4th print run and released in 2008, and then the new deck, which was released a year ago, Healing Energy Cards Deck 2. And they can be combined or you can work with them separately, but these are great tools to support your healing and your getting to know yourself and moving energy and all that kind of thing. So you can learn more about those on my website. You can learn more about me and the work I do at Temple of Balance at templeofbalance.com.au. And you can learn more about my ceramics, including, isn't this cool? I love this. This is my porcelain necklace, which just feels like bones, and it feels so nice to wear. I've got 2 of these coming up on my website, on my ceramics website. Maybe tomorrow I should be able to get them up. That's tomorrow at leannepeters.com. So let's grab a card to go. So I'm looking for the best card in regards to what do the majority of us need to know about what's next. So where to from here? I mean, it's nice. Hopefully it's nice for you. It's nice for me, sitting here and connecting for this sort of 15 minutes or however long it's been. It's really nice to connect in this space. We can put everything we've got to do aside for a little bit of time. But then life calls us back into, and we've got things we've got to do. We've got life to live. We've got challenges to overcome. We've got things to figure out. So I'm looking for the best card in regards to what do we do from here? How do we carry this that's come up? How do we carry this forward in our life where it really counts and really matters? And where it matters is in the crux, in the nuts and bolts of our life. It's in the practicality of our everyday life where this stuff counts. Otherwise, what's the point? It's just nice for 10 or 15 minutes and then we get on with it being crabby and angry and imbalanced and out of whack. So what do we need to know about what's next? How can we carry and bring this elevated space potentially into our life or whatever we need to talk about? So when we turn this off from here, when we turn this video off and we move on from here, let's keep this in mind. And it's this. From the first deck again, Healing Energy Cards, deck 1. And we've got card 4, Ancestral Inspiration. Ancestral. So this is talking about our bloodline, our family. And it's in the action category here. And down here it says, healing through the bloodline and the family. Embrace what you can of the past and let the rest go. That really matches in with what I've been saying. Changes in the family, and you are your own person. Sometimes the burdens we carry, the baggage we carry, the issues we carry, in fact a lot of them can tend to be tied in to the family. And it can be tied in like all little bits of string that are just all bound up and tying us all together. So there can be a little bit of time that's needed to untangle those threads and get rid of them and clear the connections that we have with members of our family. Now, there are going to be some members in our family we just don't get on well with, so we need to potentially keep our distance or even just keep away from those types of people. But there are some, and hopefully most, that we don't need to do that with. So perhaps some of the burdens, some of the patterns, if this speaks to you from what I was talking about before, some of the patterns that you might find triggering at the moment for you in your life might be linked in with your family or your bloodline or your issues around the family. And how I'm seeing that is just a bunch of string that's all tied up in knots. And it might be tying around us and tying us up and tying us down. So it might be helpful to look at what those issues are, what's repeated here, what insecurities is it revealing to us about ourselves. It might be helpful to perhaps imagine if you resonate with the knots and being tied up with string linked with this. It may be helpful for you to visualize, cutting those strings and cutting out those knots and perhaps create some new bonds and some new connections with those in your family or those that you consider family that you want to maintain that connection and relationship with. And don't forget that you are your own person. Sometimes there are a lot of expectations that are put onto us in the family and, to follow a certain career or a certain path or to be a certain person. And sometimes we carry that weight with us throughout our adult life. So it might too be a matter of coming to terms with the truth and the fact that we are our own person. And how can we learn from all these people, these family members or these important people in our life, these role models? How can we learn from those people and hopefully even come out the other side brighter and lighter than before? So if you have the healing energy cards, you might want to go straight to the ancestral inspiration card 4 if this resonates with you, and keep this close by. And maybe also with card 24, the spiral of grace that came up before, working with both of those cards together could be very helpful if this really speaks to you. So thanks so much for connecting. Have a great rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow to pull some cards for Thursday and Friday. Take care of yourself. And goodbye for now.